All right, let's dive right into one of the most fundamental questions we can possibly ask. It's a question that seems so simple on the surface, but really, it's the starting point for, well, pretty much all human progress, knowledge, and understanding.
I mean, it seems so simple, right? Just a little three-letter word. But that single question, that's what separates us from pretty much every other creature on this planet. And the answer to where it all comes from, well, it's just as simple and just as profound.
That's it. Seriously, that's the secret. All of philosophy, all of science, every deep, complicated question we've ever asked, it all kicks off in the exact same place a kid's mind starts, with a simple sense of wonder. I mean, just think back to that phase. Every parent knows it, right? That constant, relentless barrage of whys. It's not just some annoying habit. It's literally the most natural thing in the world. It's the human mind waking up and trying to make sense of everything. And it usually starts with the world right in front of us. A child looks up at the sky and just doesn't accept what they see. They have this deep need to understand the reason behind it. From there, it starts to get a little more complex. It moves on to the structures we've all built around us. Kids start to poke at the social world, questioning the logic of the systems they're just dropped into. And then, eventually, it gets to the really big stuff, the great existential questions. Even as kids, we're already wrestling with the biggest mysteries of life, and it all comes from that same basic human need to understand. So what is it that drives this uniquely human thing we do? Why are we, apparently, the only creatures who are just so fundamentally restless for answers? I mean, just look at the contrast here. Your cat isn't sitting there pondering the sunrise, right? Your dog isn't having an existential crisis about the meaning of life. For them, survival is enough. But for us, nope. We just can't help ourselves. We are creatures built for asking questions. And this drive, it really seems to boil down to two core things. On the one hand, you've got pure curiosity, that simple joy of just getting it, of understanding something new. But then there's also anxiety. The unknown can be scary. It makes us uneasy. So we go searching for answers to feel a little more secure in a world that, let's be honest, can feel pretty chaotic. Okay, so this simple act of asking why, this thing born from both curiosity and anxiety, it has this absolutely incredible power. It's like finding a key that unlocks entire worlds of thought that would have just stayed hidden otherwise. And this is what wonder really is, when you get down to it. It's not just, passively looking at something and saying, huh. It's an active realization that the world doesn't have to be the way it is. It's that magic moment when you ask, why is it this way and not some other way? That question, that's the spark. So, how does this actually work in practice? Let's take a really fundamental question about how we act, something I think we've all thought about at some point. And boom, just like that, with one question about how we should behave, you've kicked open the door to the entire field of ethics, the massive, systematic study of right and wrong. Okay, or how about this one? What happens when we turn that powerful question inward, when we get brave and start questioning the very foundations of what we think we know? Well, with that one move, you've just walked right into the world of epistemology, which is just the fancy word for the study of knowledge itself. We're not just thinking anymore. We're thinking about how we think. It's a total game changer. And now for maybe the biggest one of all, the ultimate why, the one that pushes our understanding right to the absolute edge. And with that question, you unlock metaphysics, the part of philosophy that tries to understand the fundamental nature of reality itself. Ethics, epistemology, metaphysics, all of that unlocked by one simple three-letter word. But here's the thing. Asking these huge questions, it isn't always comfortable. It's not always safe. In fact, more often than not, it takes a ton of courage. Even the great philosopher Aristotle was all over this. He knew that this starting point, this sense of wonder, might seem innocent, but it's actually a pretty radical act. Why? Because when you ask why, you're often pushing back against the way things have always been. You're questioning tradition, you're questioning authority, and that can lead to some really deep, uncomfortable uncertainty. It's exactly why people sometimes fear it, why they resist it, and why it takes real guts to do it. And you can't talk about this without talking about Socrates. I mean, this guy was the ultimate example. He called himself a gadfly, basically an annoying fly sent to sting Athens out of its lazy, comfortable thinking. And yeah, they executed him for it. But his whole legacy proves a massive point. Without that courage to question everything, progress in science, democracy, human rights, it just wouldn't happen.
Okay, but this isn't just about ancient Greek guys in robes or giant dusty books of philosophy. This courage, this sense of wonder, it's a part of our lives, a part of your life, every single day.
No, really, think about it. You know when you look at a sunset and just wonder, why does this move me so much? That's a philosophical moment. Or when you're in an argument and you stop and think, wait, why do we even care about being fair? That's philosophy, right there. And when you're facing something really tough and you ask yourself, why should I even keep going? You are tapping into the deepest, oldest roots of what it means to be human.
So, you see, the question isn't if you're a philosopher. Your ability to wonder, to ask why, that already makes you one. The only real question left is what are you going to do with it? What part of your world, your beliefs, or your own life will you dare to look at today and ask that simple, powerful, world-changing question, why?